start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. I start my day with peace. When I start my day with peace, I feel that sweet release of peace. I start my day with peace. When I start my day with peace, I feel that sweet release of peace. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace, peace. I start my day with joy. When I start my day with joy, everything I do is infused with joy. I start my day with joy. When I start my day with joy, everything I do is infused with joy. Joy, joy, joy. Joy, joy, joy. Joy, joy, joy. Joy, joy, joy. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my joy. Sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release.
Good morning and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living in Santa Rosa. I am Reverend Russ Laguerre. I'm your assistant minister, and I am so happy to be here with you today. And can we give some more love to our fabulous band? We've got Astor Fox as our guest today, and Chris and Fran and Brett, and I'm Jeff, thank you. Yes, so welcome, and we're so glad to have you here. And live stream viewers, we also want to send a welcome out to you wherever you're watching us across the world. It's so great to have you here. And happy Pride Month, y'all. We had a wonderful Pride booth at the Santa Rosa Pride yesterday, and I want to give a big shout out and thank you to all of our volunteers who helped out with that Pride booth. It was a great success, so thank you, volunteers, for helping out with that. Now, if you have questions about what's going on here at the center, like our Pride booth, for example, that was yesterday, we have a website. It's CSLSR.org. And on that website, you'll find a photo of an old-fashioned typewriter. And if you click on that photo, you'll find our monthly bulletin where we record all of the events, the classes, anything that's going on here at the center that you might want to get plugged into. So that's a great resource for you, and I hope you will check that out. We also have a thriving youth and family program for your newborns and your toddlers, your elementary and middle schoolers, and your teenagers. And our program is designed to help your children and your grandchildren to get plugged into this community, the community that you're plugged into too. And that I know helps them to grow on their spiritual journey. So if you'd like to get involved with youth and family, whether you have a child that you'd like to have in our youth and family program, or if you would like to volunteer with them, I invite you to talk to Jennifer Caldwell after our service. She's actually running into our sanctuary right now. She's right behind you, everyone. So talk to Jennifer. You can also send her an email to youth@cslsr.org, and she will get you plugged in. And we are also passionate about spiritual education here at our center. And if you go to our info desk after service, you will find that we have our education catalog is available from July through the end of the year. And we have over 20 classes, workshops, and book studies planned. That's a lot. And what that tells me is that there's something there for you. So I hope you'll check that out as well. We're really thrilled to be offering so many classes, workshops, and book studies in the latter half of the year. Also, we offer scholarships. So if you are thinking, what does it mean to be a professional prayer practitioner here at our center and to be licensed for that? That is available to you for any of the classes that count as a prerequisite for that. So if you have questions about scholarships, you can come and talk to me after service. I'm happy to help you with that. All right. Would you please join me now in speaking aloud our vision and our mission as a community? The Center for Spiritual Living is a spiritual community that promotes global transformation through personal transformation. Our purpose is to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence. We are motivated by a compelling global vision that inspires us to bring the gifts of compassion, integrity, and loving kindness to the world through our programs and teaching. Together, we are helping create a world that works for everyone. And we follow our vision through the 5 core spiritual practices of our teaching. And would you please read those aloud with me? Spiritual study, affirmative prayer, meditation, selfless service, and spiritual circulation. Now, our center uses flowers to send messages of love and appreciation to one another. And today's flower dedication is from our center's AIDS Life Cycle team. And they say this to us: good morning from the Santa Rosa Center for Spiritual Living 2024 AIDS Life Cycle team. This morning at 6:30 a.m., Team CSLSR rode out of the Cow Palace in San Francisco along with 1,400 other riders on our 545-mile ride to Los Angeles. We ride to end AIDS and support those who need care. We are all so grateful for your generosity and support. This year, you helped us raise over $58,000. Thank you. We love you. And I have to say, wow. So let's just share some love for that amazing team, because that is an accomplishment. Okay, so we'd like to take this moment now to extend a warm welcome to all of our first-time visitors. If you're a first-time visitor, would you please stand or raise your hand and remain standing and keep your hand up? We would love to bring you a flower and a welcome packet as a token of our gratitude for you being with us today. And if you're watching online for the first time, let us know in the chat. We're so grateful to have you here. So I know that somewhere between the music, the meditation, the prayer, our practices, and Dr. Edwards' message today is exactly what you need to experience for the next step of your spiritual unfoldment. You are welcome here. Now sit back and enjoy some music before a short time of silent contemplation and prayer.
part of it, and I am a part of it. Magic happens everywhere. Take a breath, you'll find it there. You are a part of it, and I am a part of it. Magic happens everywhere. Take a breath, take a breath. Revolving tide, creating life. You are the one, I am the one. Evolving mind, healing life. You are the one, we are one. You are a part of it, and I am a part of it. Magic happens everywhere. Take a breath, you'll find it there. You are a part of it, and I am a part of it. Magic happens everywhere. Take a breath, take a breath. Revolving tide, creating life. You are the one, I am the one. Evolving mind, healing life. You are the one, we are one. You are a part of it, and I am a part of it. Magic happens everywhere. Take a breath, you'll find it there.
God's breath breathing through everything, everyone. That one presence, that one source here fully abiding, holding all of creation, unfolding through it all. That one spirit is the source of all life, holding and folding, informing all that there is, always fully present. I recognize it as the very life of my life in this moment, calling me home. Opening up as this very word, expressing through all that I am. And I know it as the truth of each one here, all of us, created by unfolding through that one. Every breath, God's breath breathing us. And so I know this morning we are all held in this warm embrace. It expresses through us. It informs through us always. It meets us everywhere we are. It is our constant companion. And so I celebrate this knowing. Oh, so good to come home in conscious awareness. Knowing it is all known. It is all done by this one source, this one presence itself. I simply let go into that sweet embrace. I let this be, and so it is. Amen. Good morning. I'm Ruth Barnhart, a minister here at our center. Please join with me in reading this morning's affirmation. I am bold, courageous, and brave, and so it is.
I do if I knew that I could not fail? If I believed would the wind always fill up my sail? How far could I go? What could I achieve? Trusting the hero in me. If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge, where fools and dreamers dare to tread, and never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? We're all meant to do what we secretly dream. What would you do if you knew you could have anything? Like the mighty oak sleeps in the heart of a seed, are there miracles in you and me? If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge, where fools and dreamers dare to tread, and never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? Today, if I were brave, what would I do today? If I were brave, what would I do today? If I were brave, what would I do today? If I were brave, if I refuse to listen to the voice of fear, would the voice of courage whisper in my ear? Ooh, if I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge, where fools and dreamers dare to tread, and never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave?
Thank you very much. How wonderful. Thank you, musicians, and thank you so much for warming us up to our new month here at the Center for Spiritual Living, where our theme matches the music so well. The theme is Holy Boldness, and this is the little pamphlet we prepare every month that you can pick up at the information table. It has all of the topics for the week and space for you to write notes if you would like, as well as some community announcements on the back. So that's our theme, Holy Boldness. And today we start off with the topic, Sacred Audacity. Now, audacity means having the willingness to take bold steps in life. So then if we add sacred to that, or spiritual, sacred or spiritual audacity, now we're talking about our inner world, the willingness to take bold steps inside, in our imagination, to cook up a picture in my mind of my life for myself or for the world if everything was just as it should be. Right? And it takes some effort to do that. It's easy enough to say, but to do it, and I think it's challenging to do it because of our brain's negativity bias. Right? Because it seems to be easier to think about the problem more than it is to think about solutions. And also, there's another reason, I think, also because of the intensity of society's challenges right now, which can seem overwhelming and important and calling for our attention. And so in some regards, it can feel irresponsible to imagine a bright future. This afternoon, I'm leading a 2-hour workshop on the power of visualization. And here's the resource pamphlet that you will get with it if you intend to come. And it is specifically designed for us to practice inner audacity for ourselves and for our world. So if you want to take a bold step in imagining a world that works just a little bit better for you or for the world, you can join us this afternoon. I'll remind you later about that. I just came back from quite a bold and audacious vacation to New York City. And I hadn't been there for 30 years, And the last time I was there, I went up the Twin Towers to the observation deck, which was spectacular. So visiting the 9/11 memorial site was chilling and emotional, It's not the sort of experience I typically plan for a vacation, Yet I honestly felt it like it was a duty to go and to experience it and to look and to let the sensation of all the pain come in, to witness it. And seeing all of the names of the nearly 3,000 souls that were lost engraved on the granite, I don't know if you've been, it's actually quite magnificent in a somber way. Well, it was a truly powerful experience. And I noted that there were people there from all around the world. Clearly from different faiths and different cultures, everybody present in a quiet, respectful acknowledgement of something immense that touched the whole planet. Now, in contrast to that solemn experience at the memorial site, I also did some other activities that inspired me in a different way, and some of them still in a sobering way. Like, for example, I went to a Broadway show. I went to see Cabaret with Eddie Redmayne playing the part of the MC. Oh, I loved it so much, And perhaps you already know the storyline of Cabaret. It takes place in pre-Nazi Germany. At the end of, they call it the jazz cabaret era. And it's at the Kit Kat Club, which is a place of bold audacity. It's decadent. It's audacious. It's gender fluid. It's body affirming. It's sex positive, all the things, you know. And one of the characters is Fraulein Schneider, and she owns a boarding house. And she falls in love with Mr. Schultz, and they get engaged to be married. That is, until it is discovered that Mr. Schultz is Jewish. And she is warned by a young Nazi that it will not go well for her if she marries a Jew. So she calls off the engagement. I understand, out of a sense of self-preservation. And she sings a chilling song in which she asks the question, what would you do if someone you loved and planned to marry turns out is the target of a rising fascist regime? And she asks the chilling question, would you pay the price? Would you stick with them? Or would you turn away and ignore what you see rising in the form of fascism if it meant your personal safety would not be disturbed if you turned away? It's deep. Now, the story is based on real-life experience of the pre-war Germany, and it's told in Christopher Isherwood's autobiographical writing, in which he tells how many of his Jewish and his gay cabaret acquaintances fled abroad to escape persecution, but many, many more of them perished in concentration camps, in what became a staggering genocide. So shocking that the world communities since then vowed never to let it happen again. The United Nations Genocide Convention became the first human rights treaty in the history of the United Nations 75 years ago, to call all of the people of all nations to pay attention and to prevent genocide because, as it says right there on the United Nations website, I'll read it to you, in reality, genocide is typically not unleashed without warning, but rather the result of progressive human rights violations, identifiable patterns of systemic discrimination based on race, ethnicity, religion, or some other characteristic, which society sometimes ignores. Now, Fraulein Schneider sings to the audience something like this. I'll be fine, she sings. I'll get by. I'll manage. You know, if I just don't pay attention to what is happening and mind my own business. As I watched the musical, I had both empathy for her, but it also caused me to ask the question about our own teaching, the science of mind. This beautiful, powerful teaching that calls us to be audacious and bold. And I wondered, why is it that so many of us prefer to not think about or talk about the atrocities that take place in society? And I can see that some of the potential reasons are right inside of our teaching, which is inspired by something Jesus taught when he said, resist not evil. We are taught something quite similar. We are taught that when a disturbing condition presents itself, we are to turn entirely away from the condition. If you've taken any class, you know that. Here's the full quote that comes from the Science of Mind textbook, page 164, paragraph 3. We turn entirely away from the condition because as long as we look at it, we cannot overcome it. By thinking upon a condition, we tend to animate it with the life of our thought, and thereby it is perpetuated and magnified. Now, I don't know about you, but can you, like I can, see the potential problem in that? If we walk past a person on the street who's being beaten up or harassed for being transgender, for being this color, for whatever it is, for being Muslim, and I turn entirely away from that condition and say, I'll be okay, let me mind my own business. I learned that at the center. Or, make it more practical, I'm walking down the sidewalk and I fall and I break my leg. And I turn entirely away from that condition, and I don't deal with it. I don't get the help, the medical help I need to get. Or someone I love is being exploited or dealing with an addiction, and I turn entirely away from that, and I don't deal with it, I don't acknowledge it, and I say, let me mind my own business. I can see the potential problem with that kind of turning away. Now, let us examine and study the statement, turn entirely away from the condition, because surely there is something good about it. If it is in our literature, we should understand it. What can it mean? And here's the first thing I think that is important to understand. Something is missing from the quote that we frequently quote. If you look at it, there is a phrase at the very beginning of the quote that is often excluded. Here's how it goes. It starts like this. In treatment, meaning when we are praying or meditating or contemplating, when we are doing our inner work, that's when we turn our attention away from the problem and focus instead on wholeness and unity and life. In our inner work, we turn away from our focus. But, and it's a bold, audacious but in life, we must continue to take the necessary steps, inspired by our prayers, take the necessary steps that lead to the action to do the right thing, to get the right help, and to contribute to a world that works a little bit better for everyone. So if fascism, for example, were on the rise, our teaching would not encourage us to look the other way, but to audaciously declare our allyship with those who are afflicted by injustice. To me, the science of mind answer to Fraulein Schneider's question, what would you do? What should I do? Would you pay the price? The answer is going to be something like this. Whatever you do, do something. But don't turn away. Whatever you do, and while you're doing it, also do your inner work. And in that inner work, turn your attention to the internal, inner perfect source of compassion and creativity that resides within you, and consult with it and ask. That's where you ask, what am I to do? Now, the second thing I think that is important to consider with this phrase, turn entirely away from the condition, here it is. To turn entirely away from something cannot mean to pretend it is not happening. Perhaps it could mean something more profound, deeper. Perhaps it could mean this. I will not give the condition, whatever it is, any power to control my thoughts, emotions, and actions. Instead, I would say it's like saying to myself, I will not let it cause me to be less human and less decent and less creative and less powerful. Rather, I will use this condition to cause me to be more human and more spiritual and more caring and more awake and more creative. I will not let this condition drain me of compassion or courage. No. I can meet the world because I am fueled from within through my practice by a source that is eternal. Now, this is the sort of reframing that we work with on Wednesday evenings when we gather at 7 p.m. This month, we celebrate a whole bunch of things. Father's Day is coming. Juneteenth is coming. Our 70th anniversary is coming. It's Pride Month. There's a lot going on. And boldness and audacity have played a role in each one of these important events. For example, Father's Day, the fathers of the United States have an audacious woman to thank for having Father's Day at all. Sonora Smart Dodd of Spokane, Washington, 1910, she worked really hard to establish a holiday that was equal to Mother's Day in its weight for dads. And so she went everywhere, to churches, YMCAs, businesses, and to drum up support, even to government officials. And she was successful. And then Washington State celebrated the nation's first Father's Day on a very auspicious date. June 19th. Now take note of that date, June 19th. We'll get back to it in a moment. And then it took 70 years before it became a national observation in 1972. You see, the world sometimes takes a while to catch up. So don't give up. So thank you, Sonora, for having a vision and sticking with it so that we could celebrate fatherhood this month. Now, June is also the month that we celebrate Juneteenth, June 19th, the federal holiday that commemorates the freedom of the last enslaved peoples in Texas. Now, it's celebrated on June 19th, and it has its roots back in 1860. And it was only recognized nationally as recently as 2021, when President Joe Biden signed the Juneteenth National Independence Day Act into law. Sometimes the world takes time to catch up. By the way, we will be celebrating Juneteenth at our Wednesday evening service on June 19th at 7 p.m. We're putting together something quite lovely. Now, in 1863, President Abraham Lincoln made the Emancipation Proclamation. But, and another big audacious but, it wasn't until the Union soldiers arrived in Galveston, Texas on June 19th, 1865, which is, as it turns out, 2 years later, that the state's residents finally learned that slavery had been abolished. Again, the world sometimes takes a while to catch up. Don't give up. Now, it's noteworthy to me that a president had to make a proclamation to declare what ought to be obvious. And even so, it would take another 157 years to become a federal observation. The world sometimes takes a while to catch up. Don't give up. You know, it reminds me again of our teaching, The Science of Mind, because we are taught to declare the spiritual truth, understanding that the world, our own world, might take a while to catch up. We're taught, keep your eye on the spiritual truth and don't waver from it. Though the world may be taking time to catch up, Though Black, Indigenous, and people of color continue to suffer discrimination, harmful cultural stereotyping, and systemic racism, don't give up. Don't turn away. Don't mind your own business. Declare the self-evident spiritual truth and keep moving. Declare in your own mind the spiritual truth and keep going. Affirm in your heart. Recognize and align with spiritual truth and keep on keeping on. The world will catch up. Like Bayard Rustin, an openly gay African-American civil rights leader who in 1941 marched on Washington to press for a change to discrimination in employment. So he organized Freedom Rise to raise awareness that racial discrimination had not yet ended, even though it had been proclaimed to be overdone in 1863. It had not yet ended, 78 years later. So he helped organize the Southern Christian Leadership Conference to support Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And you know, it was Bayard, it was he who introduced Dr. King to Mahatma Gandhi's teaching of nonviolent resistance and the tactics of social disobedience. It was he. And he didn't give up when the world hadn't caught up to his vision of what we might say was a self-evident spiritual truth. And then later in life, he carried on and he stood up for the equality for LGBTQI plus people, even back then, declaring once again something that we would say is spiritually self-evident, even though the world had not yet caught up. And do you know he was targeted and criticized for his sexuality? And politicians threatened to tell the press that he and Dr. King were gay lovers. So he stepped back and he acted from behind the scenes because he didn't want to challenge or damage the movement, and he couldn't give up. So thank you, Bayard Rustin, for having the spiritual audacity to have a vision and to stick with it until more of it became a reality. And may we stand for that vision until all of it is real. I'm thinking about Reverend Russ's announcement. I am celebrating today the audacity of our AIDS life cycle team who think that they can cycle to bring an end to AIDS. What an idea. And this morning at 6 a.m., they said, oh, goodness me, even in the wake of the Pope disappointingly using a vulgar and derogatory term to describe gay men just a few days ago. Vulgar. Yeah. It takes a while for the world to catch up. Why, walking around New York City, arguably the most cosmopolitan, modern, and diverse city I have ever been in. Right up there with Tokyo. You know, there I am walking around, holding hands with my partner, and we saw people who were clearly not yet used to seeing two men in love and working through their internal process to catch up. So thank you. Sonoma County pride. Thank you. And thank you to all of the people who came and visited our center booth tucked way back in the corner there. Thank you for showing up for the LGBTQ community. So this month, as we celebrate boldness, I'm going to remember to stay focused. Even as the world is catching up, I'm going to remember to do my inner work to affirm and recognize and align with the self-evident spiritual truth of oneness and not to waver from it, though the world may take a moment, a decade, century, to catch up. to realign with the truth that all people are equal and that love is love and that equality is not a special right. Bayard Rustin also said, the real radical is that person who has a vision of equality and is willing to do the things that will bring that reality closer to that vision. Now, I started off this morning with an invitation to join our workshop, The Power of Visualization, today. Now, whether you come to it or not, you can still use your imagination in a very powerful way this month. Because your imagination is one of the most powerful instruments you have. And it is the place to start working at any time. Because what is in your mind really does matter. And it's less about looking away and more about looking toward. For example, if, maybe there's something you've wanted to do in your life and you've been afraid to take the steps towards it for whatever reason. Or maybe right now you have the very similar question in your heart that Fraulein Schneider has. What should I do? So whether it is in the workshop this afternoon or in your home alone today, you can sit for a moment quietly in a moment of noticing what comes up, to give that all time, what feelings, what thoughts show up. And then to bring your imagination into play, to retell the story in a way that embraces hope and healing and power and vision, and put yourself into the center of that retold story. Make your imagined self part of this imagined outcome. And in that imagined scene, ask yourself, what is mine to do? Now, the one thing I haven't mentioned is our 70th anniversary, which we're celebrating this month on June 30th. 70 years as a spiritual community in Sonoma County. Can you just imagine the audacity of that small group of 6 people who sat in a living room in Santa Rosa listening to pre-recorded audios of speakers until they could invite a minister to come up and be with them? How marvelous. Thank goodness they were bold. I wonder if they imagined this would result. And I often wonder if we could travel back in time and ask them what message they had for us. What would they advise us? What would they say? One of the features of our 70th anniversary celebration is to create a time capsule. And we're going to put in it messages for the future generation that we are imagining up right now. So on your way out today, you'll see tables at the entrance with cards where you can write down your message to the future community of the Center for Spiritual Living Santa Rosa. And then on June 30th, we will plant it there. Isn't that wonderful? So that your heart can be part of, because how wonderful can you imagine sometime in the future as they bring that out and they see there were a group of audacious, bold people who had something to say. I invite you to take a breath in with me and to let your eyes close as we enter into a moment of bold, audacious spiritual practice. There is only one power in and through all creation. It is life itself. Life that is eternal, immortal, everywhere present, in all dimensions, in all spaces, in all times. It is the thing itself, the eternal spirit, and I am part of it, as is each one in this auditorium and beyond. Having identified myself, ourselves, with that which is eternal, I let my mind soar and open into thoughts and ideas and inspirations that stretch across all time and space, understanding that the solutions and the ideas and the inspiration to solve everything, to meet all of life, are in this moment in us for we are rooted and centered in the creative cauldron of life itself. This is holy. As I think upon this thing, I make myself open and available to the guidance from within to walk through this world in such a way as to bring help and health and holiness into play. And so I let my mind settle on those things that inspire and release beauty and connection as I face everything that is before me in the world. I center my life in my inner work. In deep gratitude for spiritual practice, for the community, and for our teaching, I release this word into that aspect of the divine that we call the law, and close this time of prayer by saying together, and so it is. I invite you to take one more deep breath, followed by a sigh, as we make the transition to the part of our service where we support our center through spiritual practice of circulation. Circulation means gratitude, it means acknowledgement, it means financial support, it means receiving support. So think with me about how the center supports and sustains you, whether it's through the beautiful music, the wonderful education programs, the community events, the Sunday messages, the youth program, and how you in turn give through your volunteering, through your presence here, and of course today through your financial contribution, so that we can bring into our awareness this flow, this reciprocal flow that we are part of. I ask the ushers to stand while you prepare your gift as we say together our sharing affirmation. I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and prosper. It does amazing work in the world. And so it is. Ushers, please receive the gift.
La da 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 da. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. I am bold and outrageous, standing in my greatness. I am bold and outrageous, standing in my greatness. I am bold and outrageous, standing in my greatness. I am a shining light. 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 I am bold and outrageous, standing in my greatness. I am bold and outrageous, standing in my greatness. I am bold and outrageous, standing in my greatness. I am bold and outrageous, standing in my greatness. I am a shining light. 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 I am bold and outrageous, standing in my greatness. I am bold and outrageous, standing, bold and outrageous, standing in my greatness. I am bold and outrageous, standing. I am a shining light. I I am bold and outrageous, standing in my greatness. I am bold and outrageous, standing in my greatness. I am bold and outrageous, standing in my greatness.
Astra Fox, everyone. Thank you, Astra. That was beautiful. And thank you for the gifts that you share with our community. It's because of your gifts that we're able to have fabulous musicians like Astra Fox with us, amongst others. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, we've got a lot going on here at the center, as Dr. Edward mentioned. And as Dr. Edward mentioned, our raffle is beginning today for all of those beautiful raffle prizes that are out in the social hall. Please check those out. And if you would like to purchase one raffle ticket, 1 million raffle tickets, stack the deck in your favor. Go talk to Mitzi at the info desk and she will help you out there, and you can get your ticket and you can put it into the box of whatever gift really is calling to you, or raffle prize, I should say. And there's tons of stuff out there, so I hope you check that out. Also, raise of hands. Who parked in the west parking lot today? Yes! Okay, great. I want to see more hands, though. That's okay, we'll get there. I asked that question because on the 30th, June 30th, for our 70th anniversary celebration here, we are having one service where our 9 a.m. service and our 11 a.m. services are all coming together at 10 a.m. What time are we coming together? 10 a.m. Yes, so we're going to use the entire parking lot, that parking lot, and then we have our grassy parking lot as well as the AT&T parking lot on the west there. So we will also have parking attendants. Don't worry, we'll help you out with that, but we have to use all of the parking to make sure that we can fill up this whole sanctuary with everyone. It's going to be a great celebration. I'm really looking forward to that. You can come in right from the side entrance there. It goes right into the social hall, and it's very easy. So that's coming up. I'm moving on to my next thing here. Okay, my coffee's just kicking in. We're very excited about our June 30th celebration, and we've got so many people working behind the scenes, like Chandra Farnsworth, for example, has been working on that fabulous raffle out there, and she did an amazing job. And we've got so many more, but we still need your help. So if anybody would like to help out with some of the things like serving food, preparing the food, setting up tables and chairs, working as a parking attendant to help our parking flow easily, please go and talk to Alicia Carroll in the bookstore, and she will get you plugged in. And we're so appreciative of all of our volunteers who are already helping as well. It's going to be great. As Dr. Edward mentioned, today he's going to be hosting a workshop that's going to go into the art of using our imagination as a spiritual practice, and that sounds super fun to me. Children naturally use creativity and their imagination, and adults sometimes lose that skill when we grow up. So the art of visualization looks different for everyone, and this workshop will help you to explore how you can use the power of your own imagination to help to transform your life. So you can sign up on our website with the photo of the brain. We'll also be taking sign-ups at 1 p.m. or a little before 1 p.m. when the workshop starts. The workshop will be right here in the sanctuary, so I hope you will join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. Have you ever struggled with meditation? Maybe like me, sometimes you fall asleep. Well, if that sounds like you and you're wondering, how can I access that calm and that courage and that connection that's at the center of my being? Starting on Monday, July 1st, I'm going to be leading a class based on Locke Kelly's book, The Way of Effortless Mindfulness. Emphasis on that word, effortless. This is a wonderful form of meditation that is particularly effective if, like me, you've had challenges with more traditional forms of mindfulness. such as paying attention to your breath or, watching a candle, things like that. This is a very different form of meditation, and it's a lot of fun. So if you'd like to learn this form of meditation and see how it can uplift your life as it's uplifted mine, I invite you to join me in my class on Monday, July 1st I believe it's at 6:30 p.m. is when I have it start. It might be 6 or 6:30. And you can sign up on our website by clicking on the photo of the mountain. And I'd love to see you in that class. It's going to be a lot of fun. Our CSL Sluggers are back playing softball. And you can get their summer schedule at the info desk. We also have it on our website. Just look for the photo of, I think there's a photo of Jamie Caldwell wearing our new CSL Sluggers jersey. That looks amazing. So check that out. Their very first game starts tomorrow night. So if you're looking for a softball game, it's here in Santa Rosa. I hope you'll check that out as well. And then finally, Dr. Edward mentioned our Juneteenth summer solstice potluck, and that is coming up on June 19th at 6 p.m. It'll be right out there in the social hall. And we're going to come together and share food as a community. And then at 7 p.m., we're going to have a special Juneteenth conversation with Olivia Kinsler, Celeste Austin, and practitioner Lawrence Edwards. And we'll also have a community spiritual practice afterwards that you won't want to miss. So you can sign up to bring your favorite dish over at the info desk. We also have a forum on our website, so you can let us know what you're going to bring, and then we'll know if we have 25 pies coming. Wouldn't that be wonderful? So that's all that I have for you today. Thank you for being here, and have a wonderful week.
Thank you, Reverend Russ. And thank you, musicians, and thank you for being here. And if there's something that is incomplete in you, or if you cried yourself to sleep last night and you'd like some spiritual support, please take advantage of our online spiritual support offerings, which you can find out more about at our website. Or if you're in the room, go to the corner over there, and the host will connect you with a prayer practitioner who will sit with you and will be able to give you a spiritual mind treatment, an affirmative prayer tailor-made exactly to your request. With that in mind, won't you please stand as you are able, saying, "Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind, life is in my body, and life is in my affairs. I think it, I feel it, and I accept it, just the way that it is, and just the way that it is not. Thank you, life." Know with me that you are never alone, that Spirit is right where you are, that you have only to look within at any moment to know that you are guided, sustained, and empowered by a presence that expresses itself as you in this world. In deepest gratitude, let us live our lives accordingly, so that in everything that we do and say and think, we honor this presence within. And so it is. Thank you for being here. Let us close in song.
Together, hand in hand, we see the light, we take a stand, and we are changing a whole new life for you and me. Take your past and set it free, and share this blessing. Love be with you.
Love be with you.
Peace enfold you.
Peace enfold you.
Spirit lift you.
Spirit lift you.
Breathe it in.
Breathe it in.
Truth come through you.
Truth come through you.
Make good flow to you.
Good flow to you.
Let joy renew you.
Let joy renew
till
you.
we meet again. Love be with you. Love be with you. Love be with you. Love